So it's been about almost 10 months for me, fully raw. Hell yeah. And really enjoying the heck out of it. And now it's June. There's so much good stuff coming into season. Locally grown California peaches and cherries, great stuff. So one of the questions I get getting asked more and more lately as this sort of goes on and I've been able to stay raw without really any problems is like people want tips. Like, how do you do it? Any tips? What are your tips? As if I'm going to like magically impart some sort of knowledge that they hadn't heard before. This is going to change their life. I know it was like for time immemorial. It's going down and watch. If I just watch this video, it's just gonna tell me the tip that I don't know to do it. And I think I mentioned this before, but I want to get people out of the mindset of like tips. Like, got any tips? As if like there's some magical nugget that's gonna change your life. I think it's good to definitely watch videos and everything, more as a way to sort of surround yourself with uh, like-minded people because you can't on a day-to-day basis because you're the only person who's trying to eat fully raw that you know, or in your social circle, or in your family, or in your household, or most of the world is doing a different thing, and sometimes their influence can wear down on you, and it's good to have like a safe haven. And I think that's where YouTube videos come in really handy. But I guess if I were to give a piece of advice right now, I would say fail fast, fail often. And that is something that they say in the startup software world, which I've never really liked. I don't know, I have my own opinions on that. I won't go down that rat hole. But just be willing to like make mistakes, for God's sake. So many people, like, they make one mistake and then they rant about it, and then they also like leverage that mistake into like as an excuse to make a whole series of other poor decisions. It's like, well, I had one thing that was cooked today, so might as well have French fries, might as well have potato chips, might as well have you know whatever other unhealthy food you can, ice cream, I don't know. And then it's like, well, I already had this today, so I might as well. And you just like go on this like bender, like that is failing slow. That is not failing fast. So I would just say like, be willing to freaking make mistakes and like move on. Just like, because if you dwell on it, you beat yourself up. You get into like a negative thought pattern, and you like rationalize the mistake with all these like, I'm a bad person, I can't do it, blah blah blah. It's like you made one mistake. And I think I've said in other videos, like, you gotta make these mistakes like sometimes a dozen or more times before they like really sink in. So I would say like make the mistakes. That's the only way you're gonna learn. I think there was John Wooden, who was a college basketball coach, who, and college basketball or college sports or basketball at all, but some of this guy's stuff that he says is like pure gold as far as like motivational stuff. I mean, the guy lived to be like in his 90s, is like total genius. And one of the things he said was, if you're not making mistakes, you're not progressing, or you're not moving forward, or something like that. And that's what I would say. Like, you got to make enough mistakes before you get good enough. Like, if you're not making mistakes, you're not progressing. So like, get out there, fail fast, and fail often. And what I mean by failing fast is when you make a mistake, dust yourself off and move on. And don't be like, oh, let's do the 30-day raw challenge, and then I screwed up, so now it's like, screw it, it's over. I'm gonna have like Pizza Hut and blah 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 Domino's. Like, that's totally a terrible strategy, because number one, you're beating yourself up, and number two, you're dwelling on it. Like, you got to be able to just like, take your licks and keep going, and not let life sort of get you up against the ropes and like keep punching you. So that's my advice. Make lots of mistakes, but make them small mistakes, and move on quickly. Fail fast, fail often.